Hey, how's it going, guys? My name's Steve and I'm here to introduce to you guys the new Panasonic Lumix GX85. Now, don't let its small size fool you. The ergonomics of this camera are actually incredible. I'm a little bit of a bigger guy with some bigger hands, and I'm able to hold this camera very firmly and snug, like so. So even though this is a smaller camera, it has a ton of advanced features. A few of those are on the body itself. It has a front and rear dial, typically used for aperture on the front, shutter speed on the back, and then of course you can just jump right into your ISO button. So you have all of your basic features at just a quick touch of the buttons here. One thing that makes this camera very handy and very fast is the programmable function buttons. You can jump in here and program just about all these function buttons to do almost whatever you like. For example, you can make your function button number 1 here maybe be your burst mode, and then maybe your function button 2 here be like white balance or something like that. It's entirely up to you. When I had my eye up to the EVF, I use my left eye, and the EVF is on the left side of the camera body. That means that my nose is actually hitting the touchscreen display. Now, the touchscreen display also chooses your focus point. So if you think that you have a subject locked down and you press your nose up against the display, you might actually change your focus. That might not be a good thing. Fortunately, Panasonic has already thought about this, and you can change you can actually turn the touchscreen on the display on and off. So it makes it extremely handy. Now, there are some modes that are on the right side. They're most of function buttons that are on the right side. And these function buttons, I found that the battery life was quite exceptional. It comes with one 1025 milliamp hour battery, and I've been messing around with this camera for a little while on a single charge, and it's only taken off 1 bar. I've taken quite a few pictures, shot quite a bit of video, and it seems to be lasting. Now, as soon as you start shooting 4K video, you're going to find that the battery starts getting eaten up just a little bit more. Now, you might want to buy an additional battery if you're planning on doing a lot of 4K video. Now, you've probably heard micro four thirds or MFT. That would be this guy right here. This is an extremely compact little lens. And in fact, this one right here is a 12 to 32, 3.5 to 5.6. Now, if you haven't heard of micro four thirds before, you might want to check this out. Go to Google and type in MFT or micro four thirds. You will find a huge variety of lenses that you can choose from. Now, speaking of lenses, one thing that's really important in finding a lens is one that's stabilized. This camera actually takes this a bit further, and it has 5-axis in-body stabilization. Now, the sensor in this camera is actually floating, and you kind of feel it almost feels like maybe it's broken or there's something kind of jiggling around in there. That's actually the sensor floating around. And when you pair the 5-axis in-body stabilization with a stabilized lens, you come up with extremely stable video and photos. One interesting feature that Panasonic included in this camera is post-focus. Now, post-focus takes a series of photos, and when you press play, you'll be able to choose your focus point in your photo. Now, this could be really handy when you're doing, say, something like macro photography. You'll always have your photo exactly in focus. So some of you might be wondering what makes this 60 megapixel sensor so amazing. Panasonic's digital live MOS sensor doesn't have a low pass filter. And when you combine that with the new Venus engine, you get incredibly sharp images. In fact, some of the sharpest I've seen in a 60 megapixel camera. Now, I know a lot of you guys are looking at this camera because it's a 4K video shooter, and rightfully so. And I've gotten a few questions about 4K video stabilization. Absolutely. This thing uses all the stabilization that it would with your stills as it does with video. So you get your 5-axis in-body sensor stabilization, and when you pair it with a stabilized lens, you bet you're shooting a stabilized, completely stabilized video. Thanks for checking out the review on the Panasonic Lumix GX85. If you have any questions about this camera or any others, check out Image One Camera in Riverside. And also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.